afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready for race number 2 of the debut season of the NNSCRA TaxSlayer Truck Series. Getting ready for the running of the Cobalt Tools 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Coming off the heels of an exciting race at Daytona that took place a couple of weeks ago, we saw Tony Green go to victory lane in the very first race of this series. And now we're going to find out if these drivers, what they've been able to learn from how these trucks handle at Daytona and how they can apply it here at a speedway race, high-speed speedway race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Going to be getting ready for 27 laps of racing here today, and this race should be very interesting because normally when we come to a track like Las Vegas, a track like Auto Club, Kansas, throw some other different tracks out there like Chicagoland, track position isn't always a key factor. You can work your way up to the front. So these drivers starting up at the front are going to hope that they stay at the front, but those guys at the back may have some hope too, that they can maybe have a strong enough truck to get themselves up into the top 10, then up to the top 5, and maybe even to the race lead and the win here today. One thing that we also learned last time out with these trucks, as well as for the other two series as well, stage points are so important. Why? Well, Tony Green won the Daytona race, but he doesn't come into today's race as the points leader. J Cervantes actually got more stage points than Tony Green did, and even with the 5 bonus points for winning the race, Tony Green comes into this race 3 points back from J Cervantes for the points lead position. So that just shows you, right there, case in point, stage points are super, super important. Here today, we're going to have 3 stages, 9 laps apiece. You can bet these drivers, with that in mind, will be fighting tooth and nail every time we come to the completion of a stage. Michael Whitman lines up on the pole position for today's race. Whitman comes into this race 14th in the point stands for his first win. Alongside of him, Stuart Gratton in the 31, Gratton 21st in points. So both these drivers outside the top 15 in the point stands would love to have a good run here today to put themselves inside the top 10 the points, maybe even take the points lead heading into our next Truck Series race. But for now, we're going to go down trackside and we're going to get those most famous words in motorsports here today at Las Vegas.
Drivers, start your engines.
And if you're a mathematician, you probably already have figured out what the 3 stages are going to be split into. 9 laps, 9 laps, and you guessed it, 9 laps. So the completions of laps 9, 18, and 27 will finish out each one of our 3 stages. Point stands coming to this race. J Cervantes, we already said, is the points leader by 3 points over last time out's winner, Tony Green. Jake Rogers is third in the standings. He is 5 points back. 9 points back in fourth is Joshua Ciculli, with Jordan Lopez completing the top 5. He is 13 points out of the points lead. The rest of the top 10 points are Tyler Deaver, Ryan Brommer, A Garcia, Patrick Smith, and Marcus Saatchi. What can we expect to see today? Will we see a long green flag run race? Maybe pit strategy come into play? Or will we see the caution flag wave quite a bit here today? This race could set the tempo for what we can expect for this entire race weekend into the upcoming Pizza X Series and Hershey's Cup Series races as well. But we're about ready to go for the Cobalt Tools 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And the green flag is out. Let's roll. Michael Whitman moves up to the top side. That opens the door. Here comes Jessica Miles. She'll go for the race lead. Eli Bright right behind her. They're going to move to first and second. And there you see a very quick pass for the race lead that shows you it's so difficult to hold the top position here at Las Vegas, which is why I'm expecting a lot of lead changes here today. Miles to the point, Bright into second. Whitman slips back into third now. Battle is on for fourth. J Ciculli to the inside of Stuart Gratton. Jessica Miles with about a truck length in front of Eli Bright. Battle's moving for third. Stuart Gratton to the inside of Michael Whitman. There's side by side behind them for fourth, or make that fifth place. Charles Jackson on the high side. R Czekala down low, right behind Czekala is A Yepez in the 00. Behind Jackson on the high side is Joshua Hyatt in the 83. And Gratton, man on a mission. He got by Whitman for third, he got by Eli Bright for second, and now he's going for the race lead. Side by side between Gratton and Miles, give the spot to Gratton off turn 4. Whitman bringing Charles Jackson along with him there, third and fourth, and Joshua Hyatt there in the fifth position. A Yepez in sixth. And with 9 lap stages, not a whole lot of time for drivers to work their way up here into the top 10 to get stage points. So they're still going to be fighting really hard all the way through this field. As Stuart Gratton now 1-2 with Jessica Miles. Third place car is clear of Joshua Hyatt, then Yepez behind him in the fourth position. And now he wants third. Here comes the Haas Automation Chevrolet Silverado to the inside. And he will take the position. Here comes Ryan Madden in the 99. He's now up to the fifth spot. Now looking for more. Right behind him, Derek Davidson in the 01. And then right behind him, you've got the 90 of Joseph Srigley now up inside the top 10. Battle on for fourth. Madden to the inside of Hyatt and just up ahead. Now Yepez is going for second place off Jessica Miles. He'll take the spot. I thought he might try and stick his nose down in there to try and take the race lead from Gratton, not able to do it at least this time by. Now he'll go to the inside down the back straightaway. And Ryan Madden right there with him. Madden trying to see which line opens up. He thought about going to the middle, now ducks back down low in order to defend the position from a hard-charging Darren Davidson. And Yepez will lead this lap. Davidson now to the inside for second. As Yepez shows the way. Side by side between Davidson and Madden. And look at Srigley. Is he going to go 3 wide? Yes, he is for the second spot. They are 3 wide. Srigley, Davidson, Madden. A little contact there between Srigley and Davidson. Somehow they keep it together, and they're still going to be 3 wide as now Joshua Hyatt sticks it down to the inside. And this is when you start to get a little bit nervous. Caitlin Tsang now up there in the 37. There's Patrick Smith in the 41, Ace Garcia in the 51. We're starting to see some of our drivers running along in the point stands, working their way to the front. Patrick Smith came into this race 9th in points, Garcia 8th in points. As they are still 3 wide, this is for the third position. We just had a lead change, Joseph Srigley to the front. Oh my goodness, how are they still 3 wide? How is this still working? Joshua Hyatt still on the bottom, Davidson still in the middle, and now Ryan Madden decides to get out of Dodge. Well, as soon as I say that, he's battling back again on the high side. Now he may tuck in back in line. We're back to double wide, but they were 3 wide in that formation for almost a complete lap as Joseph Srigley shows the way. Srigley, a former Hershey's Cup Series driver, 4 career wins in the Hershey's Cup Series, including a win last season in Hershey's Cup competition. Now full-time in the trucks and showing the way in this race. A Yepez right behind him. Then you got Stuart Gratton and Jessica Miles. They haven't gone anywhere. They're still 3rd and 4th. Yepez now seems pretty content to ride behind Joseph Srigley, at least for the moment, but he might not want to ride for very long. Stuart Gratton, big run, gonna close the gap up between himself and the top 2. Then he got Jessica Miles side by, well, she was gonna be side by side. I thought Patrick Smith was gonna make the move there. He's in 5th, and look who's now up to 6th. Jonathan Zorlin has worked his way up into the top 10, with Ace Garcia right behind him. Yepez to the inside of Srigley for the race lead. Drag race to the line. It'll be almost a truck length advantage for Yepez. Now he'll go out in front. Now Jessica Miles will move by Srigley for second. Now side by side for third. Patrick Smith and Joseph Srigley. Then you got Zorlin back there along with Ace Garcia. Yepez now out in front showing the way. One driver we haven't seen up at the front yet, and that's the guy that came in as the points leader and the guy who went to victory lane last week, Ricky Cervantes and Tony Green. Let's see where they are. Wow, they're a long ways back here. There's the points leader, Cervantes, and there's Tony Green right there, the Red Bull Chevrolet. Last time by, Cervantes was scored in the 28th position. Green was scored in 31st, so not the best of runs here today for them at Las Vegas. We're only halfway though, so there still is time for them to maybe be able to do something in the second half of this race. As up front, Yepez still shows the way, Miles in second, and they are battling really hard from third on back. Zorlin just took third place, Garcia just moved to fourth, Patrick Smith in fifth, and here comes Zorlin down to the bottom of the racetrack for second, off of Jessica Miles. Good battling all the way through this field, that's why we love coming to Las Vegas. Another thing that I like about Las Vegas too is they can race as hard as they're racing, but usually they can keep it clean, so it brings out the possibility of pit strategy coming into play and all that. Zorlin to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get to the left rear quarter panel, and he will. Zorlin going for the race lead. Ace Garcia right behind him. Garcia, a two-time winner last season in the Pizza X Series, now down in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. Trying to get his first win here, and he will get to the inside of Zorlin in turn one. Side by side, Toyota Tundra, Chevy Silverado down the back straightaway. And the Dodge Ram of Patrick Smith there in third. Another driver that's worked his way up into the top 10 and is starting to close in on this lead group with Marcus Saatchi in that 74. Came into the race 10th in the point stand. You'll see him right there, that just barely in your screen. The purple FedEx Toyota Tundra out of Flickinger Racing Development. All of a sudden, he's up there in the mix. Ace Garcia shows the way now, and they may go 3 wide for second place, and yes they will. Srigley back down to the bottom of the racetrack, put Smith in the middle, Zorlin topside. At the line it was Srigley with the second spot. He's got Davison down there on the bottom behind him, along with Stuart Gratton in the 31. They're still 3 wide. Davison, that's the second time he was in a 3 wide situation today. This time though on the bottom rather than in the middle, as he tries to take away the third position from Patrick Smith. Couldn't quite do it that time. And Srigley now hounding Ace Garcia for the race lead. At the line, we have 9 laps to go. We've run the first 19 completely green, but it's been not without action at the front of the field. Garcia, Srigley, Smith, Davison, that's your top 4 with Stuart Gratton completing the top 5. Another driver that's worked his way now up into the top 10 is Carter Friesen in the 29. Scored in 10th last time by, and we may not have seen the last of him before this race is over. Srigley to the bottom for the race lead. There you see, just so hard to defend the race lead when you have such a wide open space going into turn 1. Srigley trying to take the top spot. Garcia's got a strong car on the outside though. Was able to hold on for the moment down the back straightaway, but now might have to give way out of turn 4, and indeed he will. So Srigley back to the point. Davison now side by side for second. Davison trying to get the run on the bottom. Boy, it's looking like as the race goes on with the tire wear, like the inside line, they're having to lift a little bit more into the entry of the corner in turn 1. We saw Davison have to lift a little bit. We saw before when Srigley tried to make the move on Garcia, he had to lift a little, and so Garcia was able to hang on to the top spot until they got to turn 3. So all of a sudden, that inside line in turn 1 seems to be going away as far as grip is concerned. And as soon as I say that, Ace Garcia uses the inside line in turn 1 to be able to get a good run on Joseph Srigley. So maybe it's just for some trucks. Got a slower car up ahead. That is Jake Rogers, third in points, the 52. Something amiss on his machine, and they're going to split him. Well, they were. Srigley around the outside. Ace Garcia going to get pinned behind Jake Rogers. Not the best of days for the 52 truck, as I mentioned, came in third in the point standings, and Looks like he's going to have a very poor points-paying day here today at Las Vegas. Battle on for second as Joseph Srigley tries to scamper away. Carter Friesen now enters into this battle along with Jessica Miles. Zorlin goes to second. Friesen will go to third. Miles now trying to take fourth with Madden right behind her as A Garcia free-falling on that outside line. And Zorlin, just like that, back to the bumper of Joseph Srigley for the top position. Friesen right behind him, then Miles, then Madden, and then A Garcia. Here comes Zorlin for the race lead. Miles going to go to the inside of Friesen, that's for third. Off turn 4, who gets it at the line? Outside line gets a bit of a run there off turn 4. Another car up ahead they're going to have to deal with. Couldn't tell who that was. Well, it's Marty Czekala. We saw him up inside the top 10 at the start of this race. Marty Czekala off the pace. He's gotten reeled in by the race leaders, and now he's going to hold up the outside line. So Zorlin goes to the lead, Miles to second, Madden to third. Then you got A Garcia and M Saatchi on that inside line as well. 2 laps to go at Las Vegas. Zorlin out in front in the 88, but will he be the leader when we come back to the checkered flag? Will he be the leader when we even come back to the white flag? Because here comes Ryan Madden in the 99. Ace Garcia has now worked his way back up to third. White flag displayed. This time around, it's Zorlin, Madden, Garcia, all with previous NNSCRA racing experience. Who's going to win it? Could Jessica Miles get by all three? Another car up ahead. That looked like that was the 42 of Nick Johnson. It was. Will he play a factor into the outcome of this race? Garcia going for second. Zorlin to the inside of Nick Johnson. Can Madden close the gap? No, he can't. Jonathan Zorlin is going to come to the checkered flag and win the Cobalt Tools 200 at Las Vegas. He came into today's race .37th. I had to scroll down to find him. 37th in the point standings, and he gets the victory here today. What a run for the 88 car. And now Jonathan Zorlin throws his name into the conversation of maybe getting one of those 8 spots in this season's TaxSlayer Truck Series chase for the championship. What a great run there. What a well-needed run. If you're going to pick up spots in the standings, the old cliche, do it early in the season when you can pick up the most spots with a good finish. And Jonathan Zorlin doing exactly that here today after he finished in the 37th position 2 weeks ago at Daytona. So Zorlin will pick up the win. That is Chevy's second win this season as well in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. Ryan Madden will finish in second, Ace Garcia third. Jessica Miles never fell outside of the top 5, I don't think, this entire race. Or if she did, it was never further back than 10th. She's going to get a top 5 in 4th. And Carter Friesen, what a great run he had late in this race. He'll get 5th place. Patrick Smith will finish 6th. 7th for Joseph Srigley. M Saatchi in 8th. 9th for Joshua Hyatt. And Dylan Thoreau, we never talked about the 17. He popped up into the top 10 in the closing stages of this race. Then the rest of your top 15 were Zach Rogers. Well-needed run for him. That's a driver that finished really poorly last week at Daytona. Then Ryan Brommer in 12th. Stuart Gratton in 13th. 14th for Gabe Williams. And J Lagasee will be 15th. We saw Yonder Yepez out in front for a good portion of this race. He'll finish 16th, though. 17th for E Sazak. Eli Bright, Seth Cole, and Davey Johnson completed your top 20. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, we had 38 cars finish on the lead lap. The 97 of Anderson, the last car to do so. Julius Anderson, Nick Johnson, Marty Czekala, and Jake Rogers all finished a lap down, and one driver finished out of the race. That was Easton Barber, in the 3 car, out of the race due to a camshaft issue. We didn't see the engine go south on that car, so he apparently made it to pit road safely, and we didn't have to throw a yellow flag, but a tough break there for him. especially with the fact that Barber came into today's race situated in the, I gotta find him here, in the 34th position in the point standings. I mean, that's 2 very poor runs for him in the last 3 weeks, so that team definitely puts themselves behind the 8 ball to start off this season. But Jonathan Zorlin will find victory lane for the first time this season in the TaxSlayer Truck Series, taking today's checkered flag. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become a part of the crew today. We have shown your full finisher results, and these are your point standings heading into your next race. Next race for the trucks is going to be next week at Bristol Dirt. They're going to get a little bit dirty, are these trucks, and that should be a very interesting race for sure. We still got to finish up our race weekend here, though, at Las Vegas. Tomorrow, it's the running of the Cobalt Tools 300, the Pizza Hut X Series race, and then the Cobalt Tools 400, our Hershey's Cup Series race, to cap off this race weekend. We'll see you guys next time, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.